Japan to create first wooden satellites that completely burn up on re-entry to eliminate space junk.
Here's a summary of the article.
Japan may soon be producing the world's first wooden satellites which would burn up when they plunge back to Earth without releasing harmful substances into the atmosphere, in an effort to reduce space trash. Quoted by BBC, Taka Doi, an astronaut and professor at Kyoto University said, "We are very concerned with the fact that all the satellites which re-entered the Earth's atmosphere burn and create tiny alumina particles which will float in the upper atmosphere for many years. The wooden satellites would burn up on re-entry without raining debris on the ground." Space junk, also called space pollution, comprises human-generated objects, such as pieces of spacecraft, tiny flecks of paint from a spacecraft, parts of rockets, satellites that are no longer working, or explosions of objects in orbit flying around in space at high speeds, according to NASA. As of October 2019, the U.S. Space Surveillance Network reported nearly 20,000 artificial objects in orbit above the Earth, including 2,218 operational satellites. Experts have warned that increasing the number of satellites in space requires more efforts from all countries to control the problem of space junk. Several companies like SpaceX and Amazon plan to launch thousands of satellites to achieve global satellite internet coverage.
This post received a score of 82,000, with an upvote ratio of 83%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Space termites.
Space orkin.
Sporkin. I sporkin to the east and I sporkin to the west and I sporkin to the geosynchronous orbit that I love the best I be sporkin.
I was not expecting to get Street Ukin in a random news comment today, but I am happy that it happened. Same here. In addition, I also wasn't expecting a reference to Ulrich Schnaus. What a wild world. Everything over my head. Whoosh.
No, these wooden satellites are to prevent filling the atmosphere with particulate metals and debris when it eventually re-enters. Anything that re-enters is no longer space junk, and regular satellites burn up pretty much completely on re-entry anyway. If a wooden satellite broke up or stopped working in orbit, it's going to cause just as much damage as a metal satellite. After all, just about anything traveling at orbital speeds is going to punch a hole through damn near anything else. It's nice to see science article writers completely misunderstanding their subject as usual. The person they quoted didn't talk about space trash at all, just the environmental concerns.
Greater than filling the atmosphere with particulate metals and debris when it eventually re-enters. Earth is hit by about 100 to 200 tons worth of asteroids every day. Man-made objects are really a drop in the ocean.
Yay, but that's 100 to 200 tons of naturally occurring base minerals and compounds. It's not synthetic metal alloys, plastics, radioactive isotopes, etc.
Plastics, no. Metal alloys and radioactive isotopes, yes.
Oh, thank God, yes.
The satellite also contains potassium benzoate. Can I go now? That's bad.
If it re-entered, then it's not space junk anymore. Metal or wood, it still wouldn't be in space. Okay, this was bothering me as well. Read most of the article. What they meant to say is, atmospheric pollution caused by the burning up of re-entering metallic satellites. What they said is, space junk, lol.
Is this really that big of an issue, compared to, say there are jeans factories pumping out enough dye to turn rivers a freaky shade of blue, and nickel mines that turn rivers blood red and kill all the fish?
I suspect it's a near-zero impact compared to the fuel they've already burned to get the satellite into space in the first place. For reference, a Falcon 9 puts out about 440,000 kilograms of CO2 per launch. Not a criticism of the Falcon 9, just a reference point for the quantities of emissions in question. I dunno, this seems silly to me unless I'm missing something. Satellite re-entry would obviously create particles of metals plus other stuff as well, but the vanishingly minor gain you'd get by replacing part of a satellite with wood seems extremely iffy to me.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.